ay, 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 ay. Hi, da, 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 hi, diddy, da. Hi, nine, ay, 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 ay. Hi, da, 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 hi, diddy, da. Yai, da, da, yai, yai, yai. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 hi, nay, nay. Yay, 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 hi, yay, 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 yay. Hi, yay, 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 yay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, nay, nay, nay. Ay, da, da, da. Ay, diddy, da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, da, da, da. Ay, diddy, da. Hi, ay, 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 ay. Ay, da, 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 ay, diddy, da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, da, da, ay, ay, diddy, die. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and welcome. This is a repeat experience for you in Hama'alot. You have a basic sense of what we're about to do and feel and experience over the next 90 minutes, and I use those verbs intentionally. Everyone here, it should be the case in every service that we come to, but everyone here is hopefully going to have something to do and feel and experience in a very intentional way. If it's your first time, welcome. We're doing this service on almost the 10-year anniversary of the launch of this service. The first Hama'alot was, I believe, in April of 2014. So this is a service that's had a place and a presence and a meaning for many people in this community for a decade, which is remarkable. You'll note and experience that it's stretched out or actually compacted into most of the components of a Shabbat morning service, with some Psukei de Zimra that will be starting soon, Shacharit with an Amidah, a Torah service, though truncated from the traditional one, and then a departing gift, which is something we'll do alongside or in lieu of or an enhancement of Musaf. And we've constructed each minute of this experience to have a particular impact. Will it? We never know. But we think of ourselves as curators, using the tradition and the liturgy and the text that many of us are so used to, but sometimes fly by or allow it to fly by us when we're in prayer. And this is an opportunity to get stuck in it, to feel that we're cemented into it, that we're immersing into it, probably in the way that it was intended. Your mind's going to wander this morning. It always does. So will ours. You'll go in and out of being fully present and focused on what it is we're doing. That's the norm. But seek out the peaks. Jump in rather than hold back. Allow for something to overcome you even if you don't expect that on a normal visit on Shabbat morning. And imagine yourself focused on the reason behind the name of the service. Hama'alot are the ascending steps that our ancestors would walk as they would approach the temple in Jerusalem, heading for a spiritual high, hoping to meet their Creator and a deeper version of themselves, and knowing that for the time that they were there, the experience would be like no other. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay.
How do I donai?
Ki tov, ki le'olamcha. First song on your sheet. Odu le'Elohei ha'Elohim, ki le'olamcha sto. Adonai ha'Adoni, ki le'olam chasto, le'oseh nifla gdolot levado, ki le'olam chasto. Shebeshifleinu zachar lanu ki le'olam chasto. Bekenu Mitzarenu Ki le'olam chasto Oy noten lechem lechol basar Ki le'olam chasto Odu le'el hashamay Ki le'olam chasto
The Parsha this week has a habit of falling on the calendar just before Purim. Depending on how seriously you take Purim and its costuming, whether you like it or not, depending on how seriously funny you want to make your Purim costumes, I bet by now somebody in your house is planning their costume, receiving their costume, getting ready with their costume. And what exactly is it that a costume does for us on Purim or any other time of the year? A few years ago on this very parsha, we had a bat mitzvah on our bima, who told me it would be okay to quote her this morning. Malka Pardo spoke about the idea of dress and what dress says. She says, what you wear never whispers, it always shouts. When you wear a costume, it's shouting something. Maybe it's something about the necessary contrast between how you feel outside and how you want to shout outside. And maybe in the spirit of the Purim holiday, you'd like to flip what people presume about you on its head, because sometimes when we shed our outermost layer, we shed the expectations that other people have about what's inside. And what is inside is a ruach nachon. It's exactly the right spirit we are supposed to have. You have the spirit that's meant for you. When we put on a costume, we're doing what we'll ask as we read Psalm 51 and sing from it in just a moment. We're matching God's renewal of our spirit. God is the one who renews our spirit every day when we choose, and really choose, like when we choose a costume, to put on another outer shell. We are shouting, listen to who I am. Listen to what I am. Ask new questions you've never asked about me before. And when you start asking questions about other people, you might just get to that ruach nachon.
Lev tahor berali Elohim veruach nachon chadesh bekirbi.
Oh, Lev tahor berali Elohim veruach nachon chadesh bekirbi Al tashlicheni milfanecha veruach kodechecha al tikach mimeni. Al tashlicheni milfanecha veruach kodechecha al tikach mimeni. Lev tahor berali Elohim veruach nachon chadesh bekirbi. Lev tahor berali Elohim veruach nachon chadesh bekirbi. Al tashlicheni milfanecha veruach kodechecha al tikach mimeni. Al tashlicheni milfanecha veruach kodechecha al tikach mimeni. Ay-ya-ba-da-da-da, ya-ya-da-da, ya-ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da, ya-ya-da-da, ya-ya-da-da-da-da, ya-ya-da-da. Ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da, ya ya da 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 da, oh ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da. Ay ya da 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 da, ay ya da 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 da, ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da, ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da da. Ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da, ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da do, ya ya da 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 da, ya da da ya ya da da, ya ya da 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 da, oh ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da 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 da, ay ya ya da da, ya ya da 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 da, oh ya ya da 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 da, ay ya da 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 da, ya ya yo. I'm sure it's more than this, but I can think of two distinct times in my life where I put on a mask, not for Purim, and not for Halloween as a child, and not for a party. And there's something similar about both those experiences. First one was in college. I took an acting class at Barnard when I was at Columbia. I took 2 semesters of it. My first semester, by the way, is the only A+ I ever got in college. Maybe I should have been an actor. The second semester, acting 2 at Barnard in the early 90s, was called Masks. That was the name of the class. And what we did was put on sometimes totally nondescript masks to invite a sort of mime-like acting. It was very hard to get used to. But in the end, by wearing the mask and concealing the face, more was revealed in what I was willing to do because of the coverage. So there was a masking and a revelation at the same time. And a couple of years ago, I was in Austin. I was giving a class or a presentation at South by Southwest. And there's another member of the Temple Beth Am community who was there for a different reason, and we ended up in what I will tell you was a very bizarre evening gathering. There's photo evidence of this. It's kind of like a weird, dancey, ravey kind of an experience. And at one point, I kid you not, I had a giraffe head mask on my face. And I started to dance. And I don't like dancing. I feel awkward when I dance. I can do a good hora, but I can't dance. And somehow wearing this mask, and maybe the environment I was in, and there was only one other person there who knew me, and he wasn't going to judge me for it, I think. A different internal part of me got revealed. So masks are very interesting. They cover and they uncover simultaneously. They conceal and they reveal. They make it harder for the thing underneath it to be seen or the person, and they make it easier sometimes for the thing or the person to be willing to be seen. It's a wonderful paradox. The paradox exists in our tradition, perhaps on Purim, but more so actually in our Parsha. The Hebrew word masecha, mask, is the standard modern Hebrew word for wearing a mask, comes from the root masach, which means like a curtain or a protector. And the masach is all over the Mishkan. The verses we're going to read in a few minutes constantly refer to masach, mashach, shar hechatzer, the curtain that was in front of the gate of the courtyard, and the masach that was in front of the Aron HaKodesh. And it's very interesting, because why did there need to be a masach, a masecha curtain in the temple? Well, on the one hand, it's to protect the very, very holy things that are on the other side of it. But it's also there, that masach, that masecha, in the moment of the most intense revelation of the Holy One. So there are aspects of God and God's abode that need to be behind a masecha, so that God can come out and be seen and be experienced and be embraced in a way that we can't when we haven't had a curated experience and location with that mask. So masks conceal and masks reveal. And with that in mind, if you like, and only if you like, I want to invite you to close your eyes. And if you haven't already, I invite you to place your feet flat on the ground in front of you. And try to make your spine as straight and noble as it can. And let every other muscle begin to relax and even droop and hang and sag. And see if you can simultaneously remember exactly where you are and forget where you are. Even with your eyes closed, you know exactly the seat you're sitting in. in the section of this room, in this part of the building, in this part of the city. And see if you can escape that too. And experience an everywhere-ness, an anywhere-ness of being. And try to breathe yourself into what we call poised rest, where your eyes are closed not for sleep, but for a very intentional wakefulness, a focus and an ease that might be elusive the rest of the day. And think about the mask you are wearing right now. We're all wearing many. What are you covering? And why? Which part of you is concealed? And from whom? And is there a piece of you currently concealed that is actually asking to be revealed? To be shown, to be shared, to be exposed. And what does it feel like to consider removing that mask, or even consider keeping it on, but allowing a deeper and wider you to be let out because of the mask and its protection? And what of you is too apparent, too showcased, too out there, that might need a mask, need to be held back, is due for a little bit of concealment? As you consider the masechot, the masecha, the masach, the masks and curtains and divisions which keep you in, which let you out, which are constantly in a dynamic. On Purim, on Pekudei, in a sanctuary, everywhere. Ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da do, ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da da, ya ya da 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 da, ya ya da do. Ya ya da 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 da, ya 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 da do, Yai ya da 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 da. Hi yai ya da 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 da. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai 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 ya da da. Yai ya da 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 da. Hi yai ya da 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 da. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai 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 ya da da. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai ya da do. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai 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 ya da da. Hi ya da 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 da. Yai ya da do. Hi ya da 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 da. Yai 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 ya da do. Yai ya da 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 da. Ho yai ya da 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 da. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai 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 ya da da. Hi ya da 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 da. Ho yai ya da 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 do. Yai ya da 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 da. Yai 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 yo. Song 3.
Nishmat kol chai
Tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu nishmat kol chai Timarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu Yadadai hai 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 Yanai yai dai dai Hanai yai yai oh hai yai Hanai yai dai dai hai yai yai oh hai yai 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 dai yai 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 oh yai dai yai dai hai yai yai
Nishmat
kol chai Tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu nishmat kol chai Tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu Yadada Hanai oh hai Anai, ay, nay, nay, ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh. As we transition from Sukkah to Zimra, a warm-up, and I hope you feel warmed up, into Shachrit, just an explanation for how we're going to do it. You can do it from the Siddur if you like, beginning on 149 in the Baruch Hu. You can also use the song sheet, the prayer sheet, for the parts that we're going to be doing out loud. As we normally do in Hama'alot, we're going to leave time in between the Baruch Hu and the Chatimot, the ending of each paragraph, for anyone who wishes to read through and say all the words. You can also use the license that the rabbis give us to occasionally go me'ein bracha, to use the space between the beginning and the ending of a blessing, not only to say the scripted words, but to be in the theme of the words. And so after the Baruch Hu and before the next Chatimah, we're going to sing a nigun. We use that same nigun each of the 3 times we pause. At some point, we will rise for Tzur Yisrael as we head into the Amidah, which we'll do in a Heicha Kedusha. So please rise for the Baruch Hu on 149, after which you may be seated to pray, to lean into the idea, and to sing a nigun.
Marichu et Adonai HaMevorach. Marichu Adonai HaMorach Leolam Va'ed. Nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, nine, nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, nine, nine. Nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, 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 nine. Yai, nine, nine, nine. Shall see all Tahir, and he's Kehulanu Me'Aleoro, Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Nine, 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 nine. Yai, da, 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 yai, da, 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 yai, 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 da, 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 yai, na, 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 yai, na, 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 yai, na, 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 ya, na, na, yai, na, 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 yai, na, 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 yai, na, yai, yai, da, da, da. Ya da 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 ya da ya da ya da 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 ya ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da ya da da ya da da ya da 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 ya da da ya da da ya ya da 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 ya da da ya ya baba ya ya na 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 ya ya baba ay, 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 ay.
בקרב
זמן שמך.
הגדול סלע באמת. להודות לך יחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר עמו ישראל באהבה. שמע
ויאמר להם שום דבר בני ישראל אל תעשו.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Yana na na yana 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 na na yana 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 yana
Tzur Yisrael, Kulav Yezrat Yisrael, Uvtechinu Mecha, Yehuda Yisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai Al Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chastei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo V'Hava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Zara Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai V'Chaim Eitim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem V'Chalkel Chaim V'Chesed V'chayei veitim berachamim rabim Tzomech nofelim v'rofei cholim Umatir asurim Umkayim emunato Lishaynei hafar Vichamocha bal gevurot Uvido melach Velech limi tu mechayei Matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata le'achayot metim Baruch ata Adonai v'chayei hametim Nikadesh et shimcha ma'olam keshem shemakdishim oto tishmei marom kakatuv ayad neviecha v'karazeh Shadonai Tzvahot Allahu Charetz Kevodo Hazbeko Rash Gadol Hadir v'chazak Mashmim Kol Mitnaseim Leumat Serafim Leumatam Baruch Yomeru Baruch Yomeru Mimikol Mecham Alkeinu Tovia V'timlach Aleinu Ki Mechakim Anachnu Lach Matai Timloch B'Tzion V'karab Yaminu Le'olam V'yed Tishkon Tikadash L'tach Yerushalayim Irecha L'tor V'ador U'le'netzach Netzachim V'hinenu Tireina Balichutecha Katavar Amor V'shirei Uzecha Yetei David Mashiach Tzikecha Imloch Adonai le'olam Elohayich Sihon Litor Vador Alleluia Nai 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 Litor vaitor nagid God lecha ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו, ויפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש, אתה ברוך, אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. יתכתב יקדש מרבה ועלמה תברך ירתבן לי מלכות תברך יכון ומכון חיידך בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ימרו אמן יהי שמי רבה ופרח לעולם לעולמי יברך וישבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתלש מלכות בריך ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמיר המימה וימרו אמן תקבל צלתנו תנכל ישראל קדם בהוני וישמע וימרו אמן ישלמה הרבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו אמן.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai mirushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai
Yerushalayim, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai Yerushalayim, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Hashem Yerushalayim, tetzei Torah udvar Hashem Yerushalayim,
mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai mirushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai mirushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah udvar Adonai mirushalayim. Yadai 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 yadai
So this morning, we are going to be reading from the very last part of the very last parsha of the book of Exodus. We are in Parshat Pukudei. The Torah reading you will find on your song sheet. It is also on page 571 in the Eitz Chaim. If you're at home and you have a book, we're on, I think it's 571, right? We're starting on verse 20, 571 on the Eitz Chaim. 570. But I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to read and how we're going to use the reading to explore a little bit today. So we're here now, as I said, at the end of the book of Exodus, and we have finally completed the building of the Mishkan, the dwelling that God is going to use to dwell within the midst of the Israelites as they are wandering through the desert. The Mishkan is first mentioned in chapter 25 of Exodus. We're now in chapter 40. This has been going on for 15 chapters. It took 5 parshas, and a lot of repetitiveness. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of repetitiveness in describing how to build and the actual building of the Mishkan. It's not just the building of the Mishkan. It's the Ark of the Covenant. It's the entire, accoutrement of surrounding it, all the vestments that everybody or all the priests would wear, and the building of that went around the Ark of the Covenant. I happened, just as a little side note, I happened to watch the Raiders of the Lost Ark this week with my son. It's a secret, but he's dressing as Indiana Jones for Purim. We were talking about costumes and the Parsha all worked together this week as we were watching. So if you want to get a little glimpse of what the Ark of the Covenant looked like and how the high priest dressed, it's right there. Steven Spielberg and George Lucas made it all available to you. As a little bit of a side, I don't understand what the Nazis were thinking when they were like, "Oh, we're going to do this ceremony of the Jews' Ark of the Covenant." How did they think that wasn't going to go? That wasn't going to go poorly, right? If you remember the movie, it did not go well for them at the end. Okay, so now we're here. We have finished the building of the Mishkan, and this climactic moment. They finish this. They finish it. The presence of God is coming down now in a cloud. It's going to fill the Mishkan for the very first time. This amazing moment is supposed to come, and it's 2 verses. It's really a verse and a half. It's kind of anticlimactic. You guys are going to read it. We're going to put you into Chavruta, and you're going to read it. And then it goes straight to the next scene. There's no big party to celebrate the finishing. There's no let's stop and celebrate the momentous occasion. No time to rest. No time for congratulations. No, Israelites, we're going to remember what this was all about in the first place. You built the tabernacle in order for God to dwell among you. It was not about the building itself, even though it took us 15 chapters to get here. So while we're at the end of the book and they have finished building this big project, you might think we are at an ending. But really, we're not at an ending. We're at a beginning. And we actually all know this about building, right? A building is never about finishing a building. We redid our house about 7 years ago, and I remember moving back into the house, and my kitchen felt like an art piece to me. I was so afraid to use my kitchen. I was like, did I build this to look at it? Because I was so afraid to use it. Well, we moved back in March, and Pesach came very quickly, and I had to use it. I didn't have a choice. But at first I was very scared to use it. But that's what buildings are for. Buildings are not to be made and to not be used. They're made like literally, it's not about the building, it's about the use. And I think that's the sort of the point here, is that we don't really celebrate the ending, it's about the use. The building itself was about the presence of God in it, and when God was there and when God wasn't there. And that's why quickly, we don't really celebrate this moment of the ending of the building. We go right to why the building is there in the first place. God's presence in the midst of the Israelites. So the story sort of like finishes, but then it provides an epilogue, a little bit about what's going to happen next. The Torah tells about what it means to have God's presence in their midst, what happened and where it happened, when God was with them and when God wasn't. That's what it talks about. And I want us to explore, how often has this happened to us, when we think we have come to some sort of ending, only to find out it really is a beginning. There are lots of examples we have in life and in Judaism where the ending and the beginning lines are blurred. For example, a graduation is called a commencement. To commence means to begin, right? Or when we have the merit to name a child after someone, a beloved relative who has passed on. On Simchat Torah, we never finish reading the Torah. We always go back and start the story all over again with reading Breshit. When we make a siyum, a celebration to finish studying a Jewish text, we're supposed to start studying something new right away to signal that the learning is never finished. There are other opportunities in life that may or may not seem like new beginnings at the time, but perhaps over time we are able to see them as opportunities for a new start. Perhaps a divorce, remission from a disease, or getting up from Shiva. It's Addiction Awareness Shabbat this weekend, and I'm not that familiar with the 12-step program, but Rabbi Shapiro did tell us that apparently when you finish the 12-step program, once you finish step 12, you're supposed to go all the way back to step 1 again, and sometimes that's bringing step 1 to somebody else, but that the process never ends. You go through step 12, and then you go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to start now by doing actually a Chavruta learning, and you have on your sheets the entire Torah reading that we're going to do, but not the entire Torah reading, because we have a little surprise for you. But I want you to get into groups of 2 or 3, and we're going to read the final verses together. You can read them in Hebrew or in English. Just read verses 31 to 38. And I want you to read and see what you notice about the completion of the Mishkan and its aftermath. And I want to ask your partner or your group, when have you had an experience that you thought was an end, but it turned out to be a beginning? Did it turn out for the good or for the bad? How have you taken that transformative experience along with you over time? And how has that shaped you to who you are today? Take a few minutes. Again, just read verses 31 to 38. You don't have to read the whole thing, just 31 to 38. And they're numbered in the English.
We have to Geniza these sheets. We have to Geniza these sheets.
We have to get what?
We have to Geniza these sheets.
Oh,
A class for Federation on Wednesday, and I did Safari, and I was surprised. I was like, Safari, fixed for that? Anyway, I was like, they put it in English too. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, that's what happened in Safari.
always feels weird to me. Like the reason why you can use it is because you're not supposed to erase God's name. But I go into a document and I take God's name and I erase it.
Erase it.
And put in a apostrophe so that we don't have to use it. So then what's the difference?
Yeah. Digital erasing.
I think we should.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know. I think we should. Well, I think we should do this. We should.
Well, Cindy,
No, we don't pay. No, we're not sharing anything. Yeah. He wants me to stop them, but they won't have like 2 minutes.
It'll be okay.
They'll be okay.
Okay.
They'll survive.
I'm hungry.
I apologize that I have to stop the conversations because it sounds like you're having amazing conversations, but I hope that you'll continue the conversations at Kiddush. We are going to continue with the Torah service. We're going to start with the first Aliyah on page 570 or in your song sheet, Exodus chapter 40, verse 20. Yeah.
V'yazor v'gim yoshir lechochos tibo v'nomar amein hakol havugot al Eloheinu tnu chavod la Torah tamodna. Yael Sasatera bat Rachamina vet Ariel Vatyael Sasatera ve Yirmiyahu Moshe Belia Rishonah.
Baruch es Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayikach, vayitein et ha'idud elo el ha'aron, vayasem et habadim al ha'aron, vayitein et ha'kaporet al ha'aron milmala, vayave et ha'aron el ha'mishkan, vayasem et parach al ha'masach, vayasech al ha'aron ha'idud kasher tzivah Adonai Moshe, vayitein et ha'shulchan be'ol moed al yerech ha'mishkan tzafona michutz la'parochat, Vayaroch alav erech lechem lifnei Adonai kasher tzivah Adonai et Moshe. Vayasem et hamenorah be'ol moed nochach ha'shulchan al yerech ha'mishkan negba. Vaya'al ha'nerot lifnei Adonai kasher tzivah Adonai et Moshe. Vayasem et hamenorah vayasem et hamizbeach. Yizbach hazahav ve'ol moed lifnei ha'parochet vayakter alav ketoret samim kasher tzivah Adonai et Moshe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam nata v'telcheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Yamdu. Miriam. Rachel. Bat Binyamin. V'Basha. Shlomo ben Avraham. V'Hester. Lelia Hashniha. We're going to pause for a moment before the second Aliyah. We have 2 other modalities to share with you besides Torah study this morning. This next one is poetry, a piece by Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt. To get you into this, since I stole it from her collection of poems that she likes to write and then share at the beginning of the new year, I'll remind you of that feeling when there's 3 days of Yom Tov in a row, meaning 3-day Yom Tov actually is going right into Shabbat. And if you ever had that feeling, or maybe a child in your house ask you, but isn't there 1 minute, right? Like 1 minute of regular non-Yom Tov or non-Shabbat in between. Don't we just pause? Can't we just pause for a second and like come out of it and then go back into it? Wouldn't you think? Except that there's not. And that's exactly the feeling at the start of a new year too. Between 5783 and 5784, there is not even a 1 second pause. It's just a turning of the page. Same thing at the beginning of a new year at 2024. There was no pause. The world didn't stop time. Nothing froze. We just go from the one to the other. And this is what Rabbi Baron Black captures in her yanking of an image, a plant that is transplanted into another pot, and that feeling of being wrenched out of an old into the new, rewriting and ending as the beginning. She wrote this 2017, 5778. The title is Transplanted. God says, face facts. The old year is ending. You've outgrown it. The flower pot that used to be home isn't big enough anymore. Once, it was spacious. Now your roots push uncomfortably against the walls. It's time to stop contorting yourself, to fit inside a story that's too small. For you, for who you can become. God whacks. The bottom of your pot sends you flying. Once you've pried from the old year, your roots will ache, shocked by open air. You'll wonder whether you could have stopped growing. But one morning you'll wake, realize you've stretched in new ways you never knew you hadn't done before. The sun will feel like a benediction, like grace. You can't help turning and returning toward the light, toward becoming. And wait till you see what dazzling flowers you'll discover springing from your fingertips, your life renewed, beginning again. Second Aliyah, chapter 40, verse 28.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Hamerach Elamed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Olam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Hold here. Vayasem et masacha petach lamishkan v'yed mizbacha lasam petach mishkan ol moed vayal alav et haolav et hamincha kasher tzivar naya Moshe vayasem et hakior ben ol moed ben mizbech vayitein shama mayim l'rochza v'rachatzu mimenu Moshe v'Aaron uvanav et yedehem v'ed raglehem bevoam elo moed be'oel moed u'korbatam El mizbach yirchatzu kasher tzivarnai et Moshe vayakem edechatzer sevila mishkan b'la mizbeach vayitein emasach shar chatzer vayichal Moshe et hamalacha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam Nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Who's coming up for the third Aliyah? Yamod. Reuven ben Shmuel Malka, Aliyah Hashlishit. Before the third Aliyah, we're going to pause to make a Misha Berach. It's our custom when we bless the Cholim, when we bless those who are in need of healing at Hama'alot. We sing through Debbie Friedman's version. It's on page 173 in Lev Shalem. If you'd like to follow along, you can rise in body or in spirit and bring to your heart the names of those who are in need of healing. Mishe beirach avoteinu mikor haberacha le'imoteinu, me the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe beirach imotenu mikor haberacha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, a renewal of body, a renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We wish a refuah shlema to all in need of healing. You can be seated. Before we start the third aliyah, a brief note about what we're doing. You can sit down and I'll explain very briefly. Cantor Stone referred to the fact we have a surprise for you with the reading. As we were preparing for this weekend and talking about endings that are actually beginnings, we wondered about a what if. What if the rabbis had decided that they wanted to do to the Shabbat AM Torah readings what they do on Shabbat afternoon? What do we do every Shabbat afternoon? We read Torah, but from what? From the next week's Parsha, as if we're so eager to already be in the next week and already looking forward to the next Shabbat. So we wanted to ask the question, what if, when we finished a Parsha, or even more audaciously, when we finished a book of the Torah, we went right into the next book? So that's exactly what we're going to do. The third aliyah begins on chapter 40, verse 34, and continues into Vayikra, the first chapter, the first 3 verses.
Yes, we are going to.
And we'll gesture for you to rise when we get to the moment of chazak, chazak, when we've finished a book of the Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Elameh.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Vayichas Hanan et Oel Moed uchavod Adonai malet hamishkan v'le'achol Moshe lavol Moed ki shachan alav Hanan uchvod Adonai malet hamishkan. Uve'alot Hanan ve'al hamishkan yisu b'nei Yisrael b'chol ma'aseihem im lo ye'ale Hanan v'lo yisu ad yom ha'aloto ki Hanan Adonai al hamishkan yomam ve'esh ti'elai labo le'nei kol beit Yisrael b'chol ma'aseihem. Chazak v'nid chazek vayikra el Moshe vaydaber Adonai elav b'yom moed lemor daber el b'nei Yisrael v'martel lehem adam ki akriv mikem korban l'Adonai min habehema umin habakar umin hatzon takrivu et korbanchem imola korbano min habakar zachar tamim yakrivenu el petach o el moed yakriv oto lirtzono l'fnei v'samach yado al rosh haolah v'nirtzalo l'chaper alav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah hamet v'he'olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
We'll call up the folks who've been tapped to lift and wrap the Torah, but then we'll pause for a moment while you can stay up here with us. Who's lifting? Hamagdia, Tamot, Hagolalet, and you can have a seat nearby. Now that you stood up, you can have a seat.
Now that you're here.
Maya?
Yeah. You can be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Amy, for those of you who don't know me. So my job
for right now, I'm going to stand over here, was to tell a story of something that when something ends, something else begins. Chazak, chazak. Stronger, stronger, maybe be strengthened. This week, there was an article in The Atlantic. And the article said, the golden age of American Jews is ending. You thought I was going to tell a good story. So sorry. It said that anti-Semitism on the far right and on the far left is bringing a close to an unprecedented period of safety for Jews. Bummer. But as that's ending, something else is really beginning. There's a pride, there's a commitment, there's an involvement, and there's a really deep solidarity that's happening amongst Jews. I know you guys feel it, I for sure feel it, all generations are feeling it. And yesterday I was at Trader Joe's doing my Shabbat shopping, and a woman came up to me, saw all my chais, I wear a lot of Jewish jewelry these days, and she just came up to me and she said, Am Yisrael Chai. Just out of nowhere. I said, yeah, I'm Yisrael Chai. We went about our way. We kept going. And then I went and I was putting groceries in my car. And another woman comes up to me and she goes, did you hear what Schumer said yesterday? And I said, Chuck or Amy? And we had a conversation. I didn't know her. But we just started talking politics because she saw I was Jewish and she said, there was another Jew, we're family, this is it. And every time I see somebody who I don't know with a Magen David or a Chai, you give them a nod. Because right now, there's this feeling of we're family, we're together, there's a solidarity. So yes, this period had ended. That I wasn't even grateful for because it's what I grew up in. It's all I knew. My grandparents were survivors. My mom would always tell me, everybody hates the Jews, just letting you know. And I said, that's not true, Mom. No, Mom's right. This is my mom. So while that period ended, a new period's beginning. And hopefully this is a period that we are more grateful for, that we're more aware of, we're more proud of, and it will bring on maybe something that is even better. So chazak, chazak, v'nit hazek. Chazak is a singular word, but when you say it 2 times, it means something bigger. It means community. So it creates the sense of community. So hence, v'nit hazek, together we will gain greater strength, and we will prevail, because that's what we do. Shabbat Shalom.
Please rise, the Torah is lifted and wrapped.
Thanks.
I would open it up to your shoulders and then lift it halfway off the mic. Yeah. Make a full 11. Yeah.
Yep. Ready?
Yeah.
Vezot HaTorah asher Moshe livnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomchei amei Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomchei amei Derach Adachenu Echol Nativotei Shalom Derach Bechol Nativotei Shalom Yananai Yananai Yananai
Last line of the top of page 184.
Hai Shivenu Adonai Elecha V'nashuva Chaydesh Yameinu Kekedem Oh, Chadesh, 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 Yameinu Kekedem. Oh, Chadesh, 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 Yameinu Kekedem. Oh, Chadesh, 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 Yameinu Kekedem. Oh, Chadesh, 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 Yameinu Kekedem.
We're going to try something right now. I'm going to need your help, and I need your help, and I'm going to need everybody's help. So we're going to make somewhat of a sound bath. And while we're talking about solidarity, we're going to use our voices to create something, hopefully beautiful. If it's not, that's okay, because we're trying something. So this group right here, I want everybody to sing. I'm going to give you a note, and I want you to hold on to that note and think about it, and that's going to be your note. And if I go like this, that means the note goes up. If I go like this, that means the note goes down. Just one step. It's okay if you're not a singer. I won't judge you. I am a vocal coach, but I promise I won't judge you. So you're going to have a note. This group is going to have a note, and this group is going to have a note. So your note right here is, ooh, sing it for me. Ooh, that's just right here. And then, Cantor, if you can help them with that, ooh. Your note right here is, ooh. These two groups sing, ooh. Your ooh. Your ooh. Then I'm going to say, let's go bigger. Ooh, ooh. Here we're going here. Louder, louder. Louder. Let's make it sound like a church on Sunday. Let's bring it down. Quiet. Thank you. I just wanted that.
We're going to invite the room into the quiet of opportunity. For those of you who find the recitation of Musaf to be where your head and heart are today, we're on page 185. You can rise for your own whispered private meditation. For the rest of us, the room will be quiet for thoughts and prayers. And we'll come out of this to Aleinu in just a little bit.
Enod. 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 Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו Enod, 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 אפסולתו ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. Enod, 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 Enod. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shmo echad. Enod.
Mourner's Kaddish is on page 207. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kari ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Hosei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru
Amen. Shabbat shalom to everyone. Well, thank you all for being here and part of this Hama'alot service. I hope these 92 minutes have been rich for you and meaningful and pushed you and pulled you in different directions. Yasher koach to the team, to Rabbi Cantor Chorney, to Cantor Rochelle Stone, and to Amy Chapman for joining us. This inner table is open to anyone. Right, so as we plan future services like this, if there's something that you'd like to contribute and be a part of the Hama'alot planning team, we really not only love but rely on the partnership with members of the community to construct a service that might be meaningful to the members of the community. So knock on our doors, as it were, if you'd like to be a part of the next one. I don't remember the date of the next Hama'alot, but it'll be at some point. Next week, by the way, there will not be Hama'alot, but there will be, think of like this in miniature and less structured and crafted. Rabbi Schatz is leading Beitenu in Pilch Hall next week, and we're going to be doing, we're calling it Nigun and Nourishment, an opportunity for about 45 minutes of some Torah study, some singing, and some mindfulness in lieu of a full traditional service on the sanctuary. We're playing around with different ways of figuring out the best way to structure Shabbat morning services and how to use the rabbinic time and talents and things that we're enjoying to do. So that's how we'll set up next Shabbat, and it'll be done here in time for you to hear Rabbi Schatz's teaching in Pilch Hall. This evening is the last piece of our Shabbat that is focused on addiction recovery. Mincha, Sudash, Lishit, and Mariv and Havdalah will take place at their normal time, meaning 90 minutes before Havdalah, which is very late because we changed the clocks. It's like starting at 2 in the morning or something. What time is it? 6:10 or 6:15, and there'll be some teaching both in between Mincha and Mariv, as well as some sessions after Havdalah, kind of a mini Shabbat, post-Shabbat Shabbaton focused on addiction recovery. You do not need to be in recovery or know someone who's in recovery to find the learning to be meaningful, as I hope those of you here last night experienced. We'll conclude with Adon Olam on page 211 to Nava Tehila's tune, and then conclude with after that with Hatikva. O Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Gol Yetzir Nivra Le'en Nasa B'chefza HaKol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara. Hey! Ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Ve'hu echad ve'en sheni lehamshil lo lachbira beli reishin beli tachlin velo ha'oz ve'am Yisrael ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali Betzorech avi betzara vehu nisi umanosli menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruchi be'ek ishan ve'ayira ve'yim ruchi Eviati Adonai li velo ira. Hey! La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la
Page 448.
Od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulafate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim lihiot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim Lihiot am chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Please, man, standing for Kiddush.
Vishamru v'nisrael et Shabbat v'atzot et Shabbat v'dor tamirit olam b'ni uvei v'nisrael oti leolam ki sheshem yom asadonai teshemai v'yataretz v'yimashvi Shabbat v'hi nafash zachort yom Shabbat l'kadesho sheshet yamim tavo v'esita kol malastecha yomashvi Shabbat Adonai Elohecha lo taseh melacha Ata v'incha v'yizachav dechav v'mechav v'mtecha v'yircha asher b'sharecha ki sheshet yamim asadonai teshemai v'yataretz et hayam v'kol asher bam v'yanach b'yom hashevihi al kemerach Adonai to Shabbat v'kadeshehu savri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'orei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. What's that?